Sorry, I'm trying to make sure this is working. And it is. How's everybody doing? I just wanted to talk about a few things of what it's like after benzo withdrawal syndrome and feeling, being mentally ill and having chronic illness, and how sometimes it gets worse and sometimes it gets better, and it goes through waves and windows, and some things can be pretty bad for a long period of time to where you think you have a complete setback. And that's always unnerving, And I know, like, with, me, I've been off benzos for way long enough, which is about 6.5 years almost, and I've been tapering Remeron for a long time, but I also stopped for the last almost 2 years because of life stuff and whatever, trying to heal a little bit from the damage done, but it never really felt like healing while being on the medicine. But I've had some things get worse and some things get way better. Anxiety has definitely gotten worse, but that got way worse after COVID. And it's been since end of October, so we'll say November, January, February, March, April. So we got about almost 6 months of being from COVID and the flu. Well, it was after the flu, was a couple months after that. So we'll just say 6 months from COVID almost, and probably about 4 months from the flu. And the anxiety is still really strong, and sometimes it's getting stronger than ever now. It's just an overall buzzing in my body and energy that just goes throughout my body and, makes my life really freaking uncomfortable. And the sad part about it is I have no way to really make it better. I mean, in my life, I've tried many medications and stuff like that, and they've never worked. They just made me worse and worse and worse until I got to this point. So now the only thing I feel that could make it better in the future is, although it will get harder, first is tapering the rest of the Remeron and getting off medication I shouldn't be on, because it just makes everything worse. So that's the goal, is to get off the meds. But in the meantime, it will make these things a lot worse. So that sucks. Because honestly, the anxiety is killing it. It's just brutal. And it's way worse now than it's been in a long time. And it hasn't faded much. This is the kind of anxiety I would get through the whole benzo withdrawal syndrome bullshit. And it would last a few weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then it would fade away. And I'd always have anxiety, but tolerable, to where I could pay attention to my other symptoms and stuff like that. But now anxiety is becoming a very noticeable thing in my life, to where it's almost making me nauseous all the time. So, but then there's times where, I just feel completely mentally ill, which I am. I am, and that's just the fact. And coming to terms with that is really shitty, But I've already known it, and I've accepted it. A lot of people can't tell because I talk okay, but a lot of people don't understand what it is what it's like in my head, and how it feels, and how it is to function on an everyday life. That's why I'm here doing these videos, so I can help anybody who wants to talk about this stuff, and maybe what I do to try to feel better, which isn't much, because I've tried it all, and there's not much that makes it better. It's nice to have a good support system. That's really important. Having somebody to be able to talk to about it is good. but I don't like to over talk about it. I mean, yes, I hold it back to a point. I have to, because part of my healing is just moving as forward as I can without making it priority or making it priority. And that's the last thing anybody wants, is to have their illness be priority in their life. So always giving it the attention is not healthy in any way. But when your anxiety is really, really high, it's hard not to give it attention, because it's always there freaking you out and making every symptom way worse. And there's not much I can do about it. It's a daily struggle, that's for sure. If anybody's out there and wants to say hi or ask a question, feel free to. I see there's a bunch of people on right now, so if you want to say hi, feel free. I don't even know if the chat's working right now, but either way, I'm here. So my biggest things lately has been anxiety, and one of the things that have been popping up a lot lately is my brain going really, really fast at times. And it usually starts like early evening, and then it gets worse and worse, and then I overthink it, and then it gets worse and worse from there. Sometimes meditation helps, sometimes it doesn't. But it's been ongoing to where, like, I'm just not calming myself at all. It's just not working. It's a constant battle. And it makes everything so complicated and hard. And the truth is, I am going to be tapering the Remeron this week. And that's that. I always say, unless I fall into like this severe deep wave, which I shouldn't. But if I do, then I hold off a little bit. But because I have to let my body dictate it to a point. But I'm getting back on that, and I'm going to suffer for it. I did wait for a while to hopefully my anxiety and some of the COVID stuff would calm down, but most of it hasn't. I mean, some of it has. The disorientation has calmed down a lot. Of course, it almost took half a year for that to happen. So, but the anxiety never really calmed much down. It's actually gotten a little worse. So, I don't really know what's going on, but I can't wait forever. So I need to get off the meds. And if I have to suffer to do it, I'm doing it. But my life is not going to be easy in the process. It is not. It is going to be fucking hard. Probably getting back to doing that has caused so much PTSD. I've just been terrified. And honestly, maybe once I taper and I know it's not, and I know it's okay, maybe my anxiety will calm down a little. But I'm pretty terrified of it all, to be honest. So I gotta get that light. I have it from my TV. I'm still working to a point. It's my own business, so I do it when I want. But it's like, I wish I could do it 3 times more, because I'd make a lot more money and be much more comfortable. Money gives me anxiety, but it's not as bad as it used to be. Again, I have good support systems, so. But I don't want to talk about it all the time. I just want to talk and say, hey, how you doing? Let's talk about movies and stuff like that. That makes me feel better. But talking about my symptoms and how crazy I feel sometimes, it's just not what I want to be doing all the time. It's been a long road, that's for sure. I have a longer road ahead of me. I feel like I'm in the middle, probably past the middle line of what I have to do in my life to get back to where I need to be. Now I'm in kind of the calm of the storm, and I'm in the eye of the storm, which is calming. although I don't feel calm. But in general, I'm still doing better than I ever was before, except for the anxiety part. That's just worse. I need to figure this out. I need to figure out the anxiety. I know I have a lot of stress, you know, work and everything. I mean, it's hard. It's hard being sick, mentally, physically, emotionally, not emotionally, but like mentally ill. It's just a fact. And that gives you stress in general. And I worry about the future way too much, and that causes me anxiety. I get scared of my life. I get scared of what's going to happen. It sucks. It's a lot to take on. And I'm surprised I haven't died from stress because of it, to be honest. But yeah, I'm getting by little by little. I'm able to function and talk and get through my day, but I'm very uncomfortable. You know, I feel like I'm going to throw up all the time from the anxiety. You know, it's no fun. I want to be calmer, and I keep having it in my head of something. What can I take to make it better? But it's like, I've done it all. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years, where I would try different antidepressants and shit like that, move state to state, try a new doctor, try a different drug, and they all just made me sick. They all made me feel crazy, and here I am today, suffering like a motherfucker, but better because I stopped with the pills, except for getting off Remeron. It makes me sad to think that, yeah, at some point I was like, you know, it's sad because pills are not the answer for me. And honestly, I just wish they were, because I really want to get out of this mess. I want to feel better. I want to get on with my life so bad, but I can't. I can't. And that sucks. I got a long way to go. And I can deal with the physical part of it, but the mental, the mental stuff, that's what's going to be really hard. It's going to put me through hell. And if the anxiety is extreme, then that just makes everything else so much scarier, and just trying to get through my days are going to be brutal. But I have to taper, and I have to do it at a reasonable pace so I can get down far enough to like start at least feeling better. Because the better I feel, the less anxiety I will have. But since I'm not getting any better, the anxiety is sticking around because I'm scared. I'm scared because I should be doing better, but I'm not. So if I can start feeling better, the anxiety will start to subside. And that I know. It's just something I've been so scared to do. I tapered for some years. You know, I tapered everything else before. And now here I am. So just the PTSD alone has caused my life just havoc. Just complete havoc. So I don't know if I'm actually mentally ill, or if it's something that will clear up when I'm off the other meds after a while. Because, I mean, once I'm off Remeron, it's still going to take me a year or two to, like, kick back at all. It's going to take a while. It's healing that has to be done, you know? So, but in general, I imagine I'll just feel better, like, stress-wise, knowing I'm off the medication. That's just fact. Just a fact. I won't have to take a pill anymore. You know, cutting it and stuff and making it just right. That part of my life will be over. Fucking thank God. You know, it's just so ridiculous. There's a lot of things I don't worry about anymore because I have a good support system, and I'm really happy for that. But it's not taking away that chemical bullshit that's in my body. And that's just from what I've been through. But the fact that it's gotten worse, it's either I'm making it happen because I'm so scared, And then sometimes I don't feel so scared, but the anxiety stays. Maybe I've put in so much stress on myself that it's just a little out of control right now. I don't know. I just don't know. But ever since COVID, I didn't have this kind of anxiety. And then I had the flu really bad right after it, which seemed very COVID like, just not as weird. And then after that, my anxiety just sat in my stomach and just shot their weird little energy out at me all the time. And it's just been dreadful. And then some days it'll start to get a little better and I'll get a little relief. But then, like lately, my brain starts going really fast, my anxiety gets high, and it's just like something's winding me up, and I don't know what it is. I know I'm working more than I should, so I mean, it might be just because I'm overworking, but I've overworked before and I haven't had shit like this. So I don't really know why. I meditate as much as I can, which helps sometimes, but I'm at a loss as to why things can't just calm down a little. I mean, my body doesn't go through that much, you know? It just doesn't. In comparison to anybody else in the world. Like, why is my nervous system and everything so fragile? It just doesn't make sense. But anyway, I'm only going to hang on here for a few more minutes. I just wanted to kind of vent about this a little bit. If you have any questions, feel free to ask and I will answer them. But they've got to be soon because I will cut off here soon. I just feel I've been suffering for years and I think I've paid my fucking dues for whatever I did wrong, you know? I get it. I'm a better person now for sure, but I'd give almost anything just to feel like I did before this mess. And before this mess, I thought I was in bad shape. Not even close. Somebody asked, do you still get depersonalization? Yeah, I live in it every single day. I have depersonalization. Well, it's more derealization. Depersonalization, even though DPDR is pretty similar, they are two different things for the people that don't know. Depersonalization is kind of like when you're looking at yourself and you don't feel it doesn't feel real. Like I can look at my hand and be like, I see it and I know it's my hand, but it doesn't feel like my hand. It's very weird. And yes, I get that once in a while. Derealization, I've been dealing with DPDR for probably 25 years. It just got way worse after I was ripped off benzos, or put on benzos, to be honest. But the derealization is always there, always, and it's been much worse lately. There was the other week, like 2 weeks ago, where it was really insane. It freaked me out. It's been okay lately. I mean, it's still bad in general, but it's at a baseline that I can handle. So yeah, I do get it. Depersonalization comes in when I taper, I get it more. Anytime anything's more intense, then yeah, depersonalization hits hard, and I get weird auditory hallucination stuff and whatever. I've been kind of getting that a little bit lately. That's why I know things are kind of intense going on in my head. I don't know why. I'm not doing anything. I'm doing a little more than my normal life, but nothing to deserve this. Fuck knows. Ugh, excuse me. But I thought I'd come on here and just kind of share a little bit. It's like you're not alone. I mean, this stuff is bizarre. Not getting proper diagnoses, so you have to suffer and work. Or if you don't have to work, feel fucking grateful. I'm pretty much stuck in a situation where I have to be part of society, And it's like, I'm glad to a point, because if I don't, I'll get really agoraphobic, so it's like getting myself out can help. And some days, like, I won't feel well and I'll go out anyway, and it's so hard. But sometimes I'll start to feel a little better. But what's been killing me lately is the damn anxiety. Distraction does help it to a point, but I can't distract all day long. I just can't. So, all right. Well, you all have a great evening. And if you do watch this in the future, which I know a bunch of you will, if you have any questions, always feel free to ask. Doesn't mean I'm going to rush on there and answer them, but I will try. But I'll definitely do my best. That's why I do this. So, but some questions, if they're like really repetitive and stuff, I usually say, just go back to my old videos. Sorry, but I don't like if somebody says, well, what's your story basically, just go back to my old videos. Yeah. This is part of the healing crisis, I call it. It's very true because very well is a crisis. Very well stated. Yeah. Because it's a process, but it's definitely a crisis. And it sounds like a movie name, The Healing Crisis. Oh, fuck, that would be good. But yeah, it's sad and lonely. And it's like you can have all the people in the world on your side. And it is the most lonely feeling. Because nobody will understand. And let alone, I don't want them to understand. I don't want anybody to have to deal with this. What I deal with, physically and mentally, especially mentally, I would not wish on anybody. Ever. I would never, ever want anybody to understand. So I get that people don't get it. I get it. But I just want people to listen and understand that this is all fucking real. Very real. Say your comments is each backward step leads forward. It takes time, you feel it. It seems that, I know you're right. But the anxiety thing, for some reason, it's never, even after I got ripped off of benzos, it wasn't this bad. So it's like, I've always had, maybe it was, and I just don't recognize it anymore. I don't know. It was bad, but it feels different now. Like something's going on after I had COVID and the flu, to where it's been half a year and the anxiety's just sticking around. But I don't have time anymore to sit and wait and sit and not taper Remeron anymore. I'm going to do it really slow again. It's been 2 years since I've tapered, and I've got to get back on it. And I know that's not making me any fucking better. So it's not like it was a drug that actually worked at any point. It would pretty much made me really sick and made my withdrawal syndrome 100 times worse the whole way. And I had no idea. So I think my body's just yelling at me like, dude, get back to tapering. You need to get lower on this stuff. So I'm going to do it soon this week. And that's it. Because I'm tired of waiting for my symptoms to calm down more, because they're not. They're not. And I can't wait longer. It's been 2 years. Not 2 years of the anxiety, but 2 years of just brutal shit. And it's not getting much better. So I just need to do what I'm doing and call it a day. I'm only human. Gotta get some shit done, Gotta get some more healing behind me. Or more suffering behind me, to be honest. The PTSD of it is so brutal. I've been so scared to start again, I've been enjoying some things in my life, and I'm scared. I know it's going to kind of go away again, But if I don't start now, I'm going to be on this stuff for the rest of my life. So back to it. Little by little, little steps. But anyway, thank you everybody for hanging out and supporting me, and I'll support you as much as I can. We are in this alone, whether you have people in your life or not. We are all we have when it comes to understanding what it's like. Oh, yeah. Tapered. I mean, I've been tapering Remeron for years now, but it's been very slow and steady, and it's been hell. But every time I taper a little bit, it's a move forward. Realistically, the baseline, I can't, ever since COVID and stuff, I haven't found a baseline. It's so fucking up and down. I think my baseline's a lot worse than it used to be after COVID. So I've been looking for my baseline, and I think this is it. Other than the anxiety being way higher, I'm pretty sure I'm at my baseline that I'm stuck at for a while. So anyway, you all have a great night. I am gonna get out of here, and thanks for commenting. Ask any questions you want in comments, and I will try to, answer them when time comes. Anyway, keep your head up. Try to be positive. Take one step at a time.